What's up and how y'all doing? So a bit of a switch up to the setup here. Kind of just testing something out with this couch. Plan on getting another couch in my living room and moving the couch that is in there now, or was in there, into here and a part of my whole office setup. All right. I was watching a review of this movie, and essentially it's a quick synopsis. A black family. Recently, the mother and father were in a car crash, and the father passed away. Mom is recovering with a leg injury, and bills are racking up. She's just doing painting. Really no money coming in. There's no, I guess, this is a synopsis of a synopsis from me here. So, there's no money coming in. Lights are out at the house. And then there's this lady in a chair who's a shadow witch. And she's just sitting in the front yard, waiting for the sun to kind of set so that her shadow can grow into the house and she can control shadows. And that shadow witch is a representation of the mom's trauma. Turn this light away. Here you go. That shadow witch is a representation of the mom's trauma, depression, psycho issues and stuff like that. But it's manifested, right? So, I don't know if it's the story of like, hey, this is some bayou voodoo and there's a spirits in them there woods, and it manifests itself, right? This is the part, this is what's interesting about this, because I've been in somewhat of a situation about like this, but here's an explanation. Sorry for the fuzziness.
The psychiatrist for being a deranged threat. So, the full story. Apparently that night, Ramona was having dinner with David. She was clearly miserable, upset about her new life as a stay-at-home mom at the rural farmhouse that they just moved into. She tells him he's fulfilled in the ways that he wants to be, but she's not. She's always
doing
things for him, for the house, for the kids, for the chickens, and feels like there's nothing left for herself. Simply, she wants to go back to work in the city. David reminds her that they both agreed to this move, that she wanted the lifestyle, that back then she hated her job, coming home every night crying and saying that she was suffocating. He points out that they can't keep moving every time that she gets unhappy. They agreed to stop doing that. Ramona snaps back, cold and aggressive. Okay, well, how's that gonna work out for me? David tries to coax her back to reality. Ramona, this was a we decision.
Accountability.
It's a we problem that we have to fix together. Again, Ramona coldly shoots back, maybe I'm unfixable. Right after that, David...
So, man sharing in the burden, making her accountable for the decisions that she made because of issues that she was having with work and things like that. It doesn't really go into, his side of things, but he is the quote unquote, what it looks like is he's the fixer, right? Like she's the one that is not broken, but she's the one that is complaining. It's the usual women problem staters, men problem solver, right? And she's having problems in terms of like acclimating, adapting to the new lifestyle, and it's just not enough. Now she wants to go back to the city, but you heard the whole thing. So I've dealt with this. This is dealing with somebody that is insecure, and I've dealt with this in women in different capacities. And you see, but I mean, everybody, I've dealt with it from a relationship standpoint, but like, everybody has these insecurities that they have to deal with. And then sometimes you have to interact and meet that insecurity. And then you have to deal with it in your own special way, right? Like that could be like a situation where, this person feels scared because of a traumatic event. Or if you're working in business, you're like, well, I really want to save money. So you're frugal, but then that causes issues with expansion. I've dealt with it in terms of a girlfriend saying, hey, listen, you have a house, you're adulting and all this other stuff, and I just don't have anything. I don't have anywhere to go, or I don't have anything to do, so on and so forth. And that manifests itself in different ways. It manifests itself in behaviors, actions, physical. It manifests itself in how the interaction with you, and also how they see you, right? And how they attach to you in some cases. And then it could be something where it's like, oh, the vibe was off. The spirit, the energy was off. It didn't feel right. Or sometimes, you get, not even, I guess, gaslit, but you get, in some cases, manipulated into thinking that, hey, you're not doing enough for this person. When in actuality, this person, there's almost not much you can do for the person because there's so much going on. And it actually shows that at the end of this. I won't go too much into it, or, the rest of the video here. This guy, his channel is Nord Explains. Or you can look up Shadow Witch in the, how to beat the Shadow Witch in The Woman in the Yard. The Woman in the Yard, I guess, is the movie name. So, at the end of this, she actually, the way she, quote unquote, wants to beat the monster is to kill herself. Right? Because she's going through a bout of depression. And then there's no problem solver. There's no anchor to keep her from flying off the handle, which is her husband. But she actually causes the husband's death because when she is, she gets mad, she gets up from this table, takes the keys, she drives home, and then drives into oncoming traffic. Husband dies. She causes that. And this happens, right? Like, the point of what I'm saying, or my commentary on this, and this is not to do the whole disclaimer of, men go through too, so on and so forth. But what happens is when you're in a relationship with somebody, right, and that person is not fulfilled, that person feels insecure in their position in that relationship, that person feels that they are inadequate, that you can leave for whatever reason, or that they know they're not good enough for you, you could do better, you could do good all by yourself, things like that, then they start to do things where they can put you at risk or in jeopardy. Nothing like, I've never been through anything as serious as this, for sure. But they feel that they can't live, they can't be around you, or they can't provide what you want, right? Because she talks about, you're always fulfilled, you're getting your happiness, she provides to the kids, she's doing all this stuff, but there's nothing there for her, right? And even when the husband is out of the picture, then it gets even worse. So then that compounds on it, because now you're like, wow, this person was the person to that was the driving force, the better of the two, my better half, or my better whole. Because in this case, she's not even she's dealing with a whole bunch of different issues, and issues in terms of like, and it's manifesting itself in depression. Now, this manifests itself in a shadow witch that is there to kill the family. But what's really happening is that she's having a fucking psychotic break, right? But it manifests itself like it's real because the son and the daughter interact with it. And it wasn't one of those fevered dreams where the it looks like, even though the way the angle and everything that's being said, some movies would be like, for instance, Sixth Sense, I see dead people. And then you find out Bruce Willis is dead. I think it was Bruce Willis. The whole time. He was just dead. Right? And he thought he was alive. It's not one of those things. No, this shadow witch is real and fights the mom, and the mom's about to off herself. But then she realizes, hey, I love my life. I love my kids, so on and so forth. By this time, you've already killed the fucking husband because you fucking lost it. But this is what happens, that, these people, when you're in relationships with them, they will go ahead and do something that you can't come back from, or you are traumatized because of. You have to deal with it. You have to pick up all the pieces, figure it out, get them right, get yourself right from the fallout. Sometimes this manifests itself in, the recent lady where she's saying, I'm gonna get a divorce, or I'm gonna have a divorce from the person that I have been married to for the past 10 years, right? and we have 2 kids together, and so on and so forth. Come to find out, chick was 18, he was 25 when they got married. So you already know what that is. It's pretty much I wanna be out here having fun with all the other girlies and stuff like that. And now you gotta, quote unquote, pick up the pieces and deal with this stuff. And it's just like, holy crap, this is crazy. She's 28, going to her 30s. She's already had 2 kids. Now she wants to get out and do and meet the world. She's got a little bit of following on TikTok or social media. So now she's trying to, now I guess she's in a position to possibly monetize that, do some other stuff or whatever. She wants to do some other things in her life. And it's just like, oh my God, you're seeing this play out in real time. Now, again, nothing as bad as this. This is dramatized. This is dramatized. This is exaggerated. But you start to see how unhappy people, I've had friends where even the husband, he does something that could affect the family, right? And it's just like, I have friends that have to deal with this in real life. Nothing crazy. Again, nothing like killing oneself, causing harm, all this other stuff. Nothing like that. But, I'll talk to people, and it's just like, whoa, man, you're going through that. I'm sorry to hear that. One friend in particular, he was saying that how his baby moms, the way the behavior, the people she's hanging out with, and then it's affecting also her time with the kids. And he could put her in a certain position in terms of contempt in court by not following the child support or the child, what's it called? The arrangement, the parental agreement. It's like things like that where it manifests itself in, sometimes you even see where it manifests itself in, oh, I found God and all this other stuff, but then you're still doing like bum ass shit underneath it. And you start to see, again, I'm reiterating here at this point, but you start to see where people will do things and put you in situations. And one thing you have to do is just be careful, isolate yourself as best as possible. It's always best to, hey, not get into that position. But it's sad because I understand what it's like to not be fulfilled. I understand what that causes in terms of depression. But what I don't understand is you affecting someone else. In this case, she went off and pretty much killed her husband while running into oncoming traffic because she's fucking depressed and she had a psychotic break. And then, I'm watching a synopsis of a whole ass movie. And the synopsis is 20 minutes long, or 19 minutes and 51 seconds long. And the movie's probably an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, right? But it just looked like she was driving, looked at him, and then it just jerked the wheel to the left into oncoming traffic. And it doesn't take much for you to be affected. Have one argument, and then, we hear it all the time, man. Or people talk about, man, this chick is crazy. I don't know why she thinks this stuff. She just said, I'm just going to fucking crash out, and crash the car into a fucking building. Or start to lose it in a fucking airport. Or, do things to really fuck you over in court. Or do things to fuck you over, just like fuck up your day. Just like feel some type of way about shit. And, I remember in personal story where it's just like, yo, listen, I'm studying. And, it's like I couldn't, in my head, hey, listen, I ain't got time to deal with you and your insecurities. I'm trying to study to get a job to bring money into this household. And, so I don't have to tell you, hey, listen, only spend $300 on the card. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's like little things like that where you just like, hey, listen, you want me to support you. I'm not asking you for anything. I'm not expecting anything from you. I treat it as no different than, you here or not. Either way, I'm going to eat. But now it's like, hey, listen, you got to eat. I got to help you with anything that you need help with. Cool, no problem. Let's go ahead and do this. And I take on that role, no problem. Like, I'm not stressing about it. But man, it's just when you deal with somebody that just doesn't have the doesn't have the mindset, man, or isn't in the right mindset, it really, really can cause like serious problems. And people have to be aware of that. We as men have to be aware of that. Women as well have to be aware of somebody that will do that and will drag you down with them. Again, this is very extreme, but yeah, you've seen it all the time on these damn clips where you got chicks where they'll run a dude over. They'll get their brothers, and get their brothers killed, get their brother's friend killed. We've seen court cases like that all the time. And they'll pull people into shit because they're not, one, getting what they want, two, not getting it the way that they want it, and three, they feel that you're denying them actual progression, or you're actually not being submissive to them. It's really sad, but we have to spot these things, and we have to understand that, hey, this can be a serious issue if you just let it go. If you just let it continue. All right, with that being said, thank you as always. Appreciate you. Love you. Bye.